Hello, my name is Stanley Ose and welcome to today's tutorial. So today we are looking at layers in Photoshop. So layers are, to me, I would say that the building blocks on which everything is done in Photoshop. Text, you have to work on a layer. Images on a layer. Effects, everything has to be done on a layer. So let me do a brief demonstration for you to understand what layers are about.
So anytime you bring a new layer into Photoshop, it's transparent. So we have this image here. It's a picture I've opened in Photoshop. And I bring a new layer into it. I create a new layer in Photoshop. It's transparent. As you can see, we can see the image beneath. Any design or text we put on this new transparent stuff, it doesn't affect what is below. And we can bring several kinds of them into it. Which means if I make a change or I quickly want to delete an effect, I can just, it's gone. And the new layer doesn't affect the original layer beneath it or the original design beneath it.
As you have seen the demonstration, now let's get into Photoshop and then let's go further so you can understand some more. So here we are in Photoshop. And this is a blank document I just created. Here's the layers panel. Okay. So the layers panel, if you come into Photoshop and you can't find the layers panel, you just go to Windows, scroll down, and then you can find layers over there. The shortcut is F7. So now how do you create a new layer? You go to the bottom of the layers panel. There's a plus icon there, as you can see on the screen. Click on it and a new layer is created. You can create several layers. And then to delete it, you just click on it, drag it to the bin icon by the plus icon, and then you delete it. Or use the delete button on the keyboard and it's gone. Delete, 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 and it's gone. My advice is, when you create a layer, rename it. Because a time will come when you have several layers, you work on some amazing stuff. And now you have to quickly edit something. Not struggling because they are all similar. But if you rename it, you can just look through it and you're like, oh, instead of layer 1, maybe you rename it to what? And to rename a layer, just double click on it. The name it anything. Maybe photos. Create a new layer, rename it, double click on the name, and then you name it what? Icons. Another layer, name it styles. And once you are done with this, if the layers are becoming too many, here's another very important thing. Right by the plus icon, you can see like a folder. It's a group. Create a new group. You create a group and then you put all the layers into it. Create a new group and you put all the layers into it. And then you can also rename the group. So photos, you can also create another group, which means just like you can create several layers, you can also create several groups, several folders, more like folders where you have several layers in it, so that at least your workspace looks organized. When you close and come back, you can quickly get into one and then edit it beautifully. So that has got to do with the layers panel. I mean, there are several other things like layer mask, effects, layer style, and then adjustment layer, but we'll treat that in subsequent videos. So let's jump into another example so that we can help us understand this better. So as you can see on the screen here, this is a design I did not long ago, and I was just playing with Photoshop. So as you can see, here is a design of this beautiful lady in the spectacle, and there's some text on it, fashionista. But here is the case. For instance, I just want to, I don't like the color of the pink font and I want to change it to white. I go to the layers panel, I look for the fonts, or I can just click on it and it selects the fonts right there. And then I can just go in there and edit the color of the font. Change it to maybe white. Boom. And it doesn't affect any other thing. If I don't like it, I can undo. It gets back. If I want to just clear even the shadow at the background, I can just hide it and it's gone. As simple as that. And all this doesn't even affect anything. It doesn't affect the lady. I can decide to even hide the whole thing and it's just left with the image, just because I've created several layers. In fact, this one, as you can see, I even created groups and organized it. I have a group for the images, drag it inside, and it's also very organized. So I can hide everything, bring it back. See, I'm just showing just the text over here, and then over here I add the image, and that's it. So beautiful and as simple as that. Okay, so the last example I'll be looking at today will be this. Let's look at this. Okay, good. So this I also play with Photoshop, combining this lady with a tree to see if I can. I don't know what I even wanted to achieve, but here's what I arrived at. And as you can see in the layers panel, I have several layers in several groups. So there's a text. Let me bring the layer here so that you can see it well. And it's so easy. You can move the layers panel or any panel. You can move it around anywhere you want. And I'm bringing it back to where it was. So this is a text which was in its separate layer. I can hide it or show it. This is the effects. It's in a different folder. I can even go ahead and edit even the image. So I quickly want to, maybe I don't like the lady again. I want to replace it with a guy. And maybe I have a picture of a guy turning the other way. So I want his side view to show instead of the lady facing me direct. So let me just look for the image here and say, I renamed it what? Place your portrait here. So now I double click it. Then I can edit the image. So I go look for my image here and then bring it into it. Right. So I delete this, and then this looks too big, so let me just reduce the size. Let me see. Okay, beautiful. Bring it back. So I've replaced the image. Let me save it and go back to my design, and then let's say, as simple as that. See what layers can do for us. Because they are on different layers, I've just been able to edit it with no struggle, and it hasn't even affected anything. If I don't like this, I can just go back there and then delete the image. That's all. Or change it. So layers are so important in Photoshop, and once you understand layers, I think your journey into Photoshop will be so easy and so smooth. And I hope we learned something today. We'll be discussing some advanced features of the layers panel in subsequent videos, like blend modes and adjustment layers and other amazing things that will make you really enjoy Photoshop, that you can use for your movie poster designs, banner designs, or any other thing you want to do. So see you in the next video. Bye.